Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Smart Money Sundays. And we'll just go ahead and get right into it. Obviously, last week, if you follow the series, we were looking at obviously the potential and the higher likelihood that EU would trade lower. Actually, we've been talking about that for weeks now, right? And those of you who follow, you know we've been looking to target the liquidity here and the liquidity here on the lower time frame. And sure enough, we did just that last week. And remember, we talked about what kind of gave us some conviction on that was the engineered equal highs here. Okay, perfectly equal highs, almost relatively equal highs run out. Okay, we didn't quite trade up into our POI up here. Okay, but we filled it up enough, the little inefficiency here. And sure enough, that gave us that, okay, well, wait a second, this buying off of this becomes inherently more risky after having done something like this. I did take a buy off of the last point of return. You can see we got the reaction here, but no follow through. We just dumped right over. And that kind of confirmed what we had talked about on Sunday's episode. Okay, so sure enough, ran the lows, ran the lows, ran the lows. Okay, so that takes us to the here and now. Okay, and this is going to be a relatively short episode because, if you've been following the charts the last couple of weeks, everything has been either extremely choppy or just moving unidirectionally. Okay, and so it just hasn't been pretty, in my opinion, to trade the last 2 weeks, and that's when you kind of have to quickly be able to react and adapt and kind of sit on your hands a little bit, okay, when conditions are like they are at the moment. Okay, but in terms of the here and now, obviously this was our higher time frame POI that we traded in 2 weeks ago, okay, that we wanted for a long time. We had the low, the run, the sell to buy, and the high created. All right, and so we have now traded down into that. If you go to the 30-minute time frame, you can see this little candlestick here. And if we go over to last week's price action, you can see that we did indeed trade right into that, okay, after having somewhat, in my opinion, accumulated. Okay, I don't think this is a confirmed accumulation schematic. Again, we're going to need to wait and just be patient with this and sit on our hands. But we did indeed trade into this with almost relatively equal lows created here with a nice sell to buy. Okay, so for me, at least, I think if we can get up above this high, then we might be able to look at something like this level here. Okay, for maybe intraday opportunities to the upside. Okay, maybe up into here. Okay, but I think that we're going to need to see some more choppy price action and accumulation and ultimate sell to buy. Okay, if we're going to actually shift trend on the higher time frame to the upside. Okay, so that tells me potentially, again, we might be running this low here. Okay, I'm not going to rule that out whatsoever, even though we traded into this 30-minute candlestick here. Okay, so, I'm going to mark off this candle here, obviously, just as a POI, this candle here. Okay, but I just don't think this is ready yet, in my opinion. And really, in all reality, if we go out to the weekly time frame, okay, obviously this is an accumulation, consolidation block where we ran the lows and created the high. Okay, this created a higher low and then a lower high. All right, so because of this right here is technically still our trading range. Okay, so by all means, we could absolutely trade below this low and still ultimately go long for a new higher high. Okay, because this low here on the weekly did not produce a new higher high. Okay, so technically this is, in my book, somewhat invalid structure. Would I like for it to respect this structure here? Okay, this low, absolutely, because we had that COVID manipulation, the buy to sell to buy. I would like us to kind of maintain this low, leave it intact. Okay, but we have to kind of remove our biases sometimes and think of things from multiple perspectives and understand that this is still our range, and that we can trade all the way back down into these lows here where we accumulated before the massive expansionary move. Okay, so we can't rule that out. The dollar is still very strong at the moment. Okay, and this is why I will be sitting on my hands. All right, until price action tells me otherwise, unless I see an intraday setup, okay, that meets all of my rules, which I will take. Other than that, I will be sitting on my hands and patient and wait for price to print its true story to me. All right, so that is kind of my perspective on EU at the moment. All right, so let's quickly hop on over to GU. And I'll actually preface it with GU is somewhat the reason why I think there is a possibility that Euro USD might respect this level, leave this low intact, and have a retracement to the upside. The reason I think that that's possible on EU is what has happened on GU. Okay, I think there might have been here on Friday a liquidation with this old low being run through. Price didn't sustain, and we retreated from the low. Okay, so I think that there is most definitely a possibility that GU could give us some type of higher time frame retracement here. Okay, and if we step out a little more to the weekly time frame, we have not traded into discount on the weekly time frame. Obviously, we had the equal lows. This is why I love doing higher time frame analysis. A lot of people don't often do it, and I just kind of like to check out the weekly time frame, even the monthly time frame, especially on the weekends, so I can get a better understanding of the bigger picture. Okay, but we had the clean equal lows and the massive liquidation, the sell to buy, the break of structure here. Okay, now from a higher time frame trader perspective, obviously we understand the markets are fractal, but you can trade the same strategies the same ways on every single time frame. And so if we were treating this like a 1 hour time frame here, even though this is the weekly, if we were treating this like it was a 1 hour time frame, where would we want to see price go before we went long? Okay, we would want to see it trade into discount. Okay, so from this low to this high, have we achieved discount yet? Nope, not even equilibrium, 50%. Okay, so we haven't even gotten into discount, where higher time frame swing traders will be looking to accumulate longs for another expansionary move. Okay, and ultimately, I think we can most definitely trade up into this price action here on GU. Okay, 1.48 to 1.5, I think, is the ultimate price point or objective for us. Okay, but sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, but we have not traded into discount. Okay, so that tells me maybe higher time frame again, we'll get another rundown on EU, but more than likely GU, obviously, because we haven't traded into equilibrium or discount. Okay, so that tells me EU possibly has more higher time frame downside before the next rally and expansion to the upside on these dollar pairs. It doesn't mean we can get some type of, daily time frame retracement here. Absolutely. We could totally get a daily time frame retracement, but maintain this daily time frame structure here as we continue to trade down into discount. Okay, so that's, long story, but, it's getting me to the point I'm trying to make now is where we've run this old low, had a nice spike through it. Absolutely, now we can trade into premium on the daily. Okay, and then look for more moves lower. All right, so hopefully this is making sense. And so, if that's the case, obviously we'll kind of want to see us accumulate and, at least break kind of this high here and really get some momentum going to the upside. Okay, but I like the fact that we did spike through this low. That to me means we could possibly then trade up into our old POI here where we were originally looking for sells. Okay, so not really a setup on this at the moment. Again, I'm just kind of giving you my perspective, the way I'm looking at these pairs. Okay, and you like to see the full body candlesticks close down through liquidity and that quick snap back into the range. Okay, so that's what we've gotten here on GU. Telling you I would not be surprised if we got that strong push up. Okay, but again, ultimately keeping in mind that we probably aren't quite ready yet here on the weekly. We want to see that discount. Okay, possibly 1.2500. All right, so that is GU. Sorry if you can hear my little puppy. She's very needy. But that is GU. Now, last one I want to talk about today is going to be EG. And of course, we've been talking about this one for weeks now as well. But the fact that we had that inverse head and shoulders and the run on the neckline, trapping those retail traders while we traded into our true up close here, which ran the equal highs within these wicks. Okay, and so for the here and now, okay, again, remember, this is kind of our level here where the retail traders were trapped. Up, the neckline broken, break, retest, continue, and then they're trapped. Okay, so again, we didn't get the retracement last week. We pretty much just died all week. But it would be very nice if we can get up into this level. Okay, if we can trade up and get that premium to continue down. Okay, and ultimately, what is our higher time frame level that hasn't changed? Our objective, it's going to be the gap. Okay, so, personally, of course, I want to see us trade higher so we can get a nice premium short for this leg down into the old gap, but it would not surprise me at all if we just spilled on over. Okay, so just keep in mind, again, we're looking for excuses here to sell EG. Okay, and then we have to react and adapt on the lower time frame based upon time and price. We could ultimately only even trade up into this daily supply. Okay, and I'm giving you my bias where I think price is heading. Obviously, that's going to be down through this low into the gap. 8,150 is the objective. Okay, you all know this, and so with that understanding, okay, and that's the power of having a bias. Okay, and a conviction of where price is going to be magnetized, that then gives us the confidence to trade in that direction, lower time frame, upon the right time of day, time and price, and lower time frame price action confirmation. Okay, so if we can get up into these levels, it's going to be here, and then ultimately here. Okay, if we can get up into these levels, I will most definitely be looking for lower time frame distribution, buy to sell, London Open, New York Open, preferably London Open, and then we can look to take it down. Okay, but don't be surprised if it just spills. Okay, but you have the bias. I hope you marked all these levels off. And as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to message us on Discord, on Telegram. Telegram is @ArielFX Trading. Instagram, IG is at Ariel__FX. We'd be happy to help you, answer any of your questions, and get you involved in our community. Again, markets have been pretty rough, pretty choppy, so there's no need to force anything, guys. It's, patience pays, truly. And I know it's cliche, but it's very true with respect to trading these markets. All right, so I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will be in touch. Thanks.